Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How are you been doing, Joey?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Ready to rumble and tumble.
There we go. Hey, we got great guests with us in the house. Actually, two guests in the house. We've got Ken Ortiz, citizens agent with Keller Williams Integrity First Realty, along with Greg Douthit with Security Title. How you guys doing?
Oh,
What's up? Doing well. Thanks, Jeff.
Awesome, man. Hey, Ken, why don't we get started with you sharing a little bit about how you got into real estate and how long ago you got into real estate. And then you can talk to us about how you look like Joe Rogan.
I guess in order, I've been in real estate about 5-6 years now, going on 6 years. Came from the semiconductor company and just was at a point in time where I wanted to get and look at investment properties. And I thought, you know what the hell? I'll just see if I can get my real estate license and jump on in. Did that and never looked back. Yeah. And I've somebody told me once that I kind of look like Joe Rogan, but
you need to shave your head.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, too much hair for that.
Shave your head, just cut it right off there. And then,
oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's easier to deal with.
Just wear hats and there you go. Put a hat on, you're out the door.
Yeah, for sure.
Our hats.
My head's way too square to shave it. I did that once. Boy, did I look goofy.
Yeah.
Blockhead.
I did. I look like a
I think we all have that fear until we actually do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I did mine in the middle of the night. And then when we woke up, my wife was like, what in the world?
Scream crazy, I'm sure.
Who's in my bed?
And then she liked it. So it's been like this for probably a decade now.
There you go.
So do you like UFC?
I do. Yeah. I
right.
don't watch as much, but I do like it. I do enjoy it. I'm
all right.
doing, several forms of martial arts back in the day, but yeah, I do enjoy watching.
All right. And you said you got into real estate. What year was it?
Well,
about
6 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
So I was in the semiconductor company realm and making great money, over 100K a year. And we had a manager leave the company and was under a different management, just hated things. And got to the point where I asked my wife, are you okay if I make a shift and, make $0, going from earning over 100K a year to making nothing, and trying it out on my own? Yeah. She's like,
sure, honey.
Yeah, right.
Sure, I'll be the breadwinner. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah. She said, yeah, go ahead, give it a shot. And so we did. And now she joined me. So
did you have kids at this point?
We did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's even a bigger leap of faith.
Yeah. And
That's
then
a great story.
Shortly thereafter, joining into real estate, I had my first heart attack.
Oh.
So this was
because this industry will do that to you.
Yeah. Industry, health, whatever, better shape than I am today, running on the soccer field 5 miles a day. And I went out in the soccer field and just had a heart attack and drove myself to the hospital. Sure enough, a widowmaker. If I didn't make it there in time, they would call it quits. But yeah.
Oh my.
That actually led me into real estate even more so. So it gave me the time off from my other job to really dive in and jump in. And that first 12 months ended up getting 12 transactions, just putting full effort into real estate.
Which is a rarity for people that just start. So
Yeah.
6 years in, you would never know it.
months.
He's got a big team. He does great numbers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you said 12 transactions in a month?
12 transactions in a year. So
In a year.
his
Okay.
first year.
That's still awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, people have had a lot better starts, but this was me doing it on my own, which I don't know if you guys out there, a lot of you are with, I won't even name the company, but there's a company that really services just individual agents, and they don't offer much help and growth and don't have any models and structure. If you're with one of those companies, I was with them too to start. And it was just you do it on your own. Actually, Greg was a phenomenal help. Here to give you a plug, I guess. But he was a phenomenal help for my growth starting out because I really had no one else. And Greg and another lender that Greg was partnering with at that time, they had a meeting here in this office. And we sat and we went through and they kind of laid it out. And here's like the blueprints of how you become a good agent, what you need to do in your open houses, what you need to do door knocking and cold calling. And we really took all that to heart. And Yeah, they were pivotal, and that's why we're still friends
Thank
today,
you.
and helping each other out here today.
Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
why it's important to have.
I paid him
you
to
know,
say that.
Yeah,
He didn't.
it's great to have partners.
Actually, no, I didn't. Is Vespa listening?
And I know that I'm an agent myself, and I know I get a bunch of help from these guys.
Yeah.
They're amazing. So
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a great story.
Team.
You also now do a lot with Airbnb properties, correct?
I do. So I currently own 3 Airbnbs personally, and some other residential properties too, but I don't even count those in my numbers because I really get excited about Airbnb in particular. We do have a lot of investor clients that work with us predominantly because we do a lot in the Airbnb space. We have one closing in 2 days.
for yourself or for someone else?
For a client.
Okay.
And I just came from a meeting with an investor client looking at purchasing some new Airbnbs as well. It's exciting. It's out there. You can look and research Airbnb and find so much information, good and bad. It's tough. It's unique, but the rewards are really, really awesome.
I'll tell you what, next January, those are going to be full.
Yeah.
You're making some money.
They're already full because see, I was
Well, we're getting the Super Bowl, aren't we?
yes, I was fixing and flipping. I fixed and flipped a prop. Well, I didn't flip it. Right, the market kind of slowed down, and it's been on the market for a month. And of course, a month these days is you're thinking it's a long time because usually they go like this.
Yeah.
And someone said, the Super Bowl's coming.
Yeah.
And I started to do research in the area, and $4,500 a night.
Yep.
And most of them are already reserved for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's what's crazy is I get a lot of new clients and they ask me, "Oh yeah, Airbnb, you're doing it because of the Super Bowl, right?" It's like that's one
It's just
weekend.
one weekend.
Yeah, that's no reason to get into buy a place and invest in it. So no, we have to talk about a lot of the strategy behind it and the research behind it. And I know this is going out to a bunch of agents. When you're talking to your clients, you really want to, there's a couple websites that I always refer them to because you want them to do some of their own research as well too.
Yeah.
Airbnb itself, looking on Airbnb as somebody who's wanting to rent the property out in that particular area. If you're looking at a house, part of the research is putting that address on Airbnb, see what the surrounding properties pull up as comps, what you can be getting per night. If you put different points and times and dates, you'll kind of get the logistics of what the
About
growth
how much.
factors look as well too.
So setting up an Airbnb account.
Yeah.
Right. You set it up, and I'm assuming they get their own fee. So
Yes.
usually, because I've done Airbnbs before, like rented them myself. There's a service fee. That's what goes Airbnb, and then what the amount goes to you. Is that
Correct.
right?
They do it twice though. I mean, the person who's booking the Airbnb gets hit with a fee, and the owner of the Airbnb gets hit with a fee as well too.
Oh, wow.
So Airbnb is making their money.
Well, yeah, because they're pushing it out and people know.
Yeah, they're in business for a reason, for sure.
So are your listings also in VRBO, or is it just strictly Airbnb?
They're in both.
In both.
I will say predominantly I get about 80 to 90% of my listings from Airbnb, and it's meant to be that way on purpose. I change the dollar value from Airbnb and VRBO. VRBO, for me personally, now you can do this a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
Part of my strategy is to put VRBO a little more expensive.
So that you push them towards Airbnb.
Right. But those people who are looking to secure a time are able to get in on VRBO a little faster than they are with Airbnb because I have it at a higher rate. I give them precedence over Airbnb.
Okay.
That said, I do use both. I also used booking.com for a little while. That's
not as good for you.
I will never use booking.com.
Okay. So when you're listing these things, okay, or actually when you're helping a client and they're saying, okay, I want an Airbnb, do you find something that's already done up, like fixed up? Oh,
well, you kind of gauge with your client. You look at their threshold for pain tolerance as well too. If they are the kind of person that wants value, the most bang for their buck, you're going to want them to get into a property that smells like dog piss. You know, you walk in, you
Okay.
open the door and it reeks. That's gold. That's what I always tell my clients
Okay.
as you're walking
Because
through.
then they'll fix it up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to turn away, 80% of the people, the consumers coming to look to purchase this property right off the bat.
Mhm.
So to me, that's gold. That's what you're smelling. However, I know, right?
It stinks. Yes.
Yes. No, I tell them,
We're gonna get a good deal.
yeah, guys, this home looks like crap. Like
Yeah.
I get excited. I
Yeah.
get, thrilled. Because that's when
Oh,
we can
that's
come in
funny.
and really, especially in today's market,
Yeah.
homes like that. Oh man, you're chomping at the bit to those homes. We do also work with wholesalers like everybody else does.
Mhm.
And those deals, even net you even larger return as well too if you're able to get in. But majority of the time we don't find a home that's already perfect because you're not going to be able to get that return as
Sure.
easily.
Okay, as quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so when you're actually putting these things out on being Airbnb,
Mhm.
okay, do you have like a strategy on because we spoke with another agent
Yeah.
who she said that it should be according to where it's located, and she gave Roosevelt Row as one of the examples, like this downtown area. Maybe get some art inside the home that's local to the area, local artists, and maybe do the design kind of mini theme to that. Is that what are your
I mean,
findings?
that's a great idea and a great avenue. And plus you can point people to those local
Mhm.
places and where the artwork that they got and they can purchase in there. That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
It's not the strategy I use per se, but
Okay.
it's a good one. Yeah. I'm not knocking that at
Yeah.
all. What I typically like to do is I look on Airbnb again as a renter,
Mhm.
and you look to see the properties around your area and you look to see what genres they're going with, what type of motifs they have.
Mhm.
And you're trying to design something different than what they have.
Yeah.
You're trying, so like if you see somewhere and everything's, modern farmhouse nowadays,
Yep.
you want to go to something a little newer, something art, modern art deco. You want to, really elevate the style in there. The furniture that you're putting in, the furnishings, is where the bulk of your budget goes into.
Yes.
You really want that thing to pop and shine and look good
Mhm.
because those pictures,
Yeah.
they're what sell the
The
property. for
pictures
sure.
are selling it for sure. Yes.
How about like entertainment stuff? I'm sure that's
Yes.
because when we look for something, we
Yeah.
look for something like a pool or a jacuzzi or something like that.
Yeah, good point, Jay. So in all of my Airbnb properties, I do try to showcase some type of entertainment value.
Mhm.
We have an idea for anyone's welcome to steal it, but we have an idea for the next property
Okay.
to put in we saw it when we went to Coco Cay on vacation once.
Mhm.
They had this outdoor billiards table made with soccer balls.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
I've
it's-
seen that.
Yeah, it's a big, huge wooden outline of a billiard table that
Yeah.
you have, 9 soccer balls in the middle and another one that you're kicking, and you're playing soccer with,
You're playing
pool.
billiards
Yeah,
and
billiards
soccer.
and
balls,
soccer.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I've
Um,
seen that.
But
Oh,
in
that's
my,
cool.
in my Airbnbs currently, I have bocce ball, I have cornhole set up,
Yeah.
I have a
Pickleball.
pickleball works really, really, really well.
Really, you got houses that big to have a pickleball court
I
in
don't.
there, huh?
I don't have pickleball right now, but that's a great suggestion as well too. And I also have a 4-post swing set.
Uh-huh.
It's like an adult swing set. All the swings swing inward from 4 corners.
Oh, wow.
And so end of the evening, you're having a glass of wine and you just enjoy
Yeah.
the evening outside like that.
Okay.
That's cool.
Could they actually ram into each other? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have. I'm sure people have.
After a few drinks, you never know what they'll try after a few
No,
drinks.
I mean it's not all fun and games. Just like every rental situation, you do have your little
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
stories as well too. But
So I'm curious. So just like investors that are buy to hold, they have a certain buy box, right? That they normally looking at.
Yep.
Do you have a specific buy box when it comes to just the ones that you want to hold for Airbnb?
No. And honestly, if I could turn back time, I would have gone big early. And that's what I'm doing now. My next projects are going to be big, as much as I can afford it. At that point in time is what I'm going for. I'm looking probably like $1 million minimum on up
property.
for a property.
House, okay.
And we're still looking for something that's a potential fixer upper at that price range as well too. So we're going to be putting in a good chunk, regardless of what property we get.
Well, heck, last
Wow.
time
What about location though? I mean, what about close to, for something like that, $1 million plus? Are you looking for very specific I mean, does it need to be close to any major events that are happening, or does it not really matter?
No, it doesn't really matter. And case in point, we had a client that was looking in Coolidge, and we were trying to get them into the property there. And the seller's agent said, "Hey, I know you guys are looking at this. I know we're showing it, but you won't be able to move into the property for another 4 months because it's booked out till the end of the summer in Coolidge."
Wow.
Who puts
Who
up
would have thought?
Airbnbs in Coolidge, and why would they be booked up the whole summer in that way? And we asked, "Is this one person?" There's like, "No, there's just a bunch of different people coming in, but they've already booked it out."
People visiting their relatives at the prison.
That's what I'm just
No,
kidding. I asked that, and they said no. Honestly, there's a wedding for one, there's a funeral for another, and they were just going on and on.
Oh.
But and that's the thing with Airbnb. Everybody tries to think about the specifics behind what they're going to visit, what's going to be there in the attractions. But there's people everywhere, so there are going to be people visiting those people everywhere. And
So
point.
how often? I mean, okay, you have a property. Do you have one in Phoenix or Scottsdale? Let's talk about one property that you own right now, or three of them that you own. Where are they located?
sure, all of them currently are in Mesa alone.
In Mesa. Okay.
That's where I live. It's easier for me to manage and put my thought process into managing them to begin with.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to go anywhere.
Yeah, but you're in Newer Mesa, like
Yeah.
Eastmark,
Eastmark,
not what
yeah.
people think Old Mesa is.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's not where my Airbnb properties are. My Airbnb properties are just all around me. So there's one
Okay.
by the Cub Stadium,
Mhm.
one a little closer to Eastmark, and one in downtown Mesa.
So what's your personal vacancy rate? I guess in there.
84% is my average vacancy rate across all three properties,
Mhm.
but they're all really close.
Yeah.
One's 83, one's 84, and the other's 83. So-
Okay, but then you're still making enough to cover whatever you need to cover to your
Oh, yeah.
expenses and all that.
Oh yeah,
Even just with the 16% that you're.
I make my mortgage back for the year typically by February in all of the properties.
Wow.
wow.
Right, February. And
Yeah.
when are your
I think I
busiest
need
times?
to buy a couple of these.
Winter.
Winter.
Yeah, it'll pick up right here in October is when Airbnb season will start, and then it'll taper down end of May, June.
Mhm. And why do you say that I should have gone big at first? Is it just it's just that.
It's crushing it. It really is. If you look at rental versus what you're going to be accruing from Airbnb, it's probably about you'll get about 30% of what you're getting on Airbnb if you change it as a standard rental.
Really?
Yeah, it's just nuts. At least that's
Yeah,
my
and the
averages.
logistics is worth doing that.
Oh, for sure.
Preparing and
For sure.
yeah.
And we are all also coming up with our own Airbnb management system as well too. We're in the beginning stages of it, a very pilot program right now. But if any of the agents out there, if any of your clients want some help with Airbnb rental management, the solution will be, it's already test piloted now with my three properties.
Mhm.
We've had a couple hiccups with it, but in the end of this month, I think we're going to be ready to go for other people as well too.
I'll
Well, that's a
talk to you
great niche
afterwards.
market, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
there's all
yeah.
kinds of property managements, but I have rarely seen one that's just for Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or Verbo or whatever.
Oh, that's great. So in the property that's close to the Cub Stadium, is it like decked out with White Sox stuff?
No, well, it's like in between both of this.
I'm just joking.
But no, we do call it Cubs Corner. So if anyone wants to look at it on Airbnb, you can look up Cubs Corner and you'll see which one I'm talking about.
That's funny.
And
So do you give all your Airbnbs names like that? Or, I mean, a name?
one's called Cubs Corner. The other's a cozy casita. The other's a mid-century home in
Okay.
downtown Mesa. But no, not all of them.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
No, okay. And then you said you have regular rentals, and how many, you said you have 3 Airbnbs. How many regular rentals do you have?
Just one.
Oh, just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to have two, but now we just have one. Yeah,
And
we-
would you consider change that to an Airbnb when the lease is up? Or
No, that one's in an HOA community that doesn't allow Airbnbs.
Mm.
So
but if you could, you probably would.
I'm contemplating 1031ing that property but it's such a quality home that
Yeah. It probably cash flows pretty good too. Then.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. We were almost paid off on that one. I might just get another mortgage off of that on that one just to get some cash out.
Mhm.
I was going to ask that about, you saying that this property, this third property or this hold that you have is in a HOA that doesn't allow. Are you like, what are some of the things that people have to look out for when they're first thinking about finding an Airbnb? I mean, obviously some HOAs have made it to where it's very difficult, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a very good question. When I'm hunting for my clients, we talk about all the HOAs and the ability to be able to Airbnb that. And if they do decide on a property with an HOA, they're taking that liability that even if the HOA allows for it, that the HOA will continue to allow for it going forward. Whereas if they look into a property with no HOA, they're the ones that are setting those rules going forward. The city can have some interaction as well, but that's not as common here in Arizona.
Now, do you make them sign some sort of form, like a liability form, saying that if your HOA changes in the future, you're not liable because you're the one that sold them the house?
Well, I mean,
Like, how do you protect yourself as an agent?
the standard NAR forms protect us just off the bat, so I don't have to create any new ones. But no, I don't have them sign anything extra.
So is that one of the reasons why older part of Mesa is where you have your Airbnbs? I mean, obviously closer in, right? You don't have as many HOAs in the older parts of town.
The reason I purchased where I purchased was because I was looking in no HOA areas at that time in a lower budget area. So the first, the one in downtown Mesa, I picked that one up for $190K.
It smelled really bad.
It still today has a crack in one of the foundation walls that's about this wide. I mean, it's
oh wow,
huge crack. It's an old 1930s home made out of adobe, and it shifted.
Wow.
If you walk inside the property, the floor is a subfloor that's kind of pushed up in one area, and so it kind of slopes. This is a home that if you bought to live in,
district though,
it is. So this is a home that if you bought to live in, you'd probably be like, whoa, what's going on? Maybe we should get this repaired. But as an Airbnb,
Really?
I'm cash flowing day one.
So I know that Airbnb relies also on ratings.
Mhm.
Like with that particular home not being, like shifting and all that, do you get like lower ratings or?
No, I'm a super host on every single one of my properties. I really put a lot of money into the decor, and I elevate the look of the home, and it looks really cute. It looks like a 1930s home, and I decorated it that way. The color
That's
palettes
awesome.
are very, according to that style. And so when everybody comes to stay there, they're like, this is so cute. It's so, quaint. Yeah.
Yeah, quaint.
Yeah.
So so we've heard all the good stuff about it. I mean, what bad experiences have you had?
It's funny because just recently, I talked about, not putting it on specific platforms as well too. We had one string of bad luck with booking.com, and I have a manager on my team that kind of assists me with getting all these things set up. And there was some documentation that stated that booking.com does not collect the money from the clients that we have to, which makes it very difficult. If you're trying to, maximize your time away from the property, that's kind of adding to the steps on that. We didn't see that. We both did not see that in the documentation. And so we had them scheduled, thought that they were just similar to Airbnb and VRBO, and two bookings go by, and I'm looking at the bank statements. It's like, where's the checks coming in? I don't see any deposits.
Where's my money?
Yeah. And so I go to our marketing manager, and she's looking, she's doing the research, and then she sends me this article that the red flags booking.com. And so in that article, she's reading, and it says how they now require the customers to pick up the money from the tenants.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, frantically, how do we get that money back? So we're trying to figure it all out. Bottom line, we gave away 2 free bookings.
Oh, no.
The third one that came in was during the time we found this out. So I went over there. I go in, and I knock on the door, and I said, you guys have to pay or get out, because it's not allowing us to pull money from the credit card you guys use. And it was a big stink trying to get them out of the house. Finally, they get out, and I go into the property after they've vacated and left in a car.
Yeah.
And there's crack inside the home. There's a weighing scale. There's crack pipes there. There's all this other stuff.
Wow.
So what I researched afterwards is that what people are doing now is they're they're looking for new listings on booking.com and they realize this is going on and that a lot of people aren't catching on to the methodology of it. And if they can get into the property, then they keep extending the bookings and keep extending it. And they're
You
using a
have to pay
stolen
for
credit
it.
card.
Yeah.
They use a stolen credit card for the first lock
Wow.
for the reservation, and then they never have to pay for anything.
So you wouldn't have that experience
People are
using
crazy.
Airbnb or VRBO.
I haven't had, well, the only bad reservation I had with Airbnb was a guy who did use a stolen credit card. The lady who owned the credit card called me and said, is somebody staying in your Airbnb? And I said, yeah. She's like, well, he's using my credit card. And so I went over there and I knocked on the door and the guy's like, oh, it was my uncle that set this up. I'm like, okay, well, you still need to pay.
Yeah.
So he gave me cash.
Okay.
And then I called the lady back and she's like, yeah, is his name Michael? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's my boyfriend. Is he there with a girl? And I'm
Oh
like,
no! Hey, don't include me. In
Oh
this.
yeah, I don't want to get in that drama.
Yeah, but I still ended up kicking him out because there's liability that if he's paying with cash, I don't have a deposit. I don't have any of the
Yeah.
coverages by Airbnb if he messes up the place. So I still kicked him out. But
Thanks for the money to get out.
Yeah. And
that's exactly what I did.
so being in Arizona, if agents or some of your clients are looking to invest here, I mean, are there like months where you just get nothing at all and then make it up later? Or
No, there are not months
Okay.
that go by.
like I think that summertime would be like super slow.
You just lower your price. You lower your price and you get people in.
Okay.
But this summer in particular was very lucrative for me. Every single one of my Airbnbs was booked almost solid the whole summer, which is an oddity.
Wow.
It is an oddity.
Okay.
And I don't have a pool in any of them,
Wow.
which pool is a big draw for people in the summer.
Sure.
So if you are looking, your clients are looking, the pool does help, but not for these ones.
I have a question for that. I'm assuming that the liability of having a pool or, God forbid, a
Take the
child drowns or gets hurt. Do you have to have separate insurance to cover that?
Yes.
And is it
Yes.
extremely expensive because it's such a liability?
It's not that expensive. And you do have to tell your insurance companies that you are
That it is an
having an Airbnb.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're not going to be covered. So you definitely want to make sure that's well known
Mhm.
and
That's good to
have
know.
your agent hunt that
Cover your
out.
bases. Okay.
So in today's market, if agents are wanting to get into Airbnb,
Mhm.
kind of first steps or any tips or any things they need to watch out for?
Oh, Ken.
Yeah, I'm always welcome to field calls, and if you guys are looking to jump in, definitely give me a call. I'll walk you through it.
Okay,
But
awesome.
I would recommend that you look on Airbnb first. You kind of look for an area that you're comfortable buying a home in,
Mhm.
even if it's a community, a subdivision, and then look for Airbnbs in that area and see what the price range is and if the numbers match out for you.
Do you think an Airbnb, because I've always wanted to do this, but one of the ones I wanted to do is I wanted to buy a horse property
Mhm.
and have like horses. So families could bring kids to
Mhm.
ride a horse or whatever.
Yeah. There are high-end, look up high-end Airbnbs. I mean, there's one for $12,000 a night in Northern
What?
Arizona here. It's phenomenal.
Wow,
It's
that's crazy.
It's a 3-bedroom, but it's
No, I'm more
gorgeous.
like thinking like Gilbert horse property, so they can
Yeah,
come.
no, there's an
If a
Airbnb.
family wants to learn how to ride a horse or whatever, just have
Greg,
fun.
you're going to need some extra insurance for that, Greg,
Probably.
riding the horses.
But they're called Airbnb experiences, and you
Oh,
can
okay. So
you
you can
can
do that.
host Airbnb experiences as well as
Okay.
have them on your property as well too. So that is
You mentioned being a super host. So what does it take to be a super host?
I don't know all the exact qualifications, but you have to maintain a booking rate for an extended period of time. I think it's like 6 months.
Mhm.
And so you have to have over like 80% occupancy for over 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And you have to have above a 4.5 star review rating.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think
I,
that's
I think backing up to when we first started, you had said vacancy rate of 84%. I think you were thinking occupancy rate of 84%, or is it actually vacant?
occupacy rating.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So
So
Yeah,
I was
I was
confused
like,
about
wait a
that too. I was like,
minute.
wait
Yeah,
a minute.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's vacant 84%
And
of
you're
the time.
making
You're
a lot
making
of
money.
money, and
yeah,
so
no,
it's
sorry.
84%.
Yes.
It's 84% occupancy
Occupied.
rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not-
But people are only in there 2 months a year. I think it's 3 months a year.
Well, that's what, 'cause he said vacancy rate. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, that would be 15%.
Because that's usually what
vacancy
you
rate.
talk about when you're renting.
Right. That would be
Rentals,
amazing. Yeah.
regular
Yeah.
rentals.
Yeah,
So
okay.
84%
Occupancy rate.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
perfect.
for
I'm
clearing
like-
that up.
Yeah.
Wow. If you're making money 2 months out of the year, I'm buying
Right.
10.
Well, I heard and I read that when you first do an Airbnb, get maybe some of your relatives to stay there and to give you some good ratings.
Yeah.
At
10-star
first.
ratings,
Yeah,
5-star
because,
ratings.
you know,
all
when
the
I'm
time.
looking, that's the first thing I look at. I look at ratings, right?
Right. But imagine if you, yeah, you can do that. And I'm sure people do, but
Uh-huh.
I haven't. As long as you just lower the rate and you get people in there and they're happy with the value that they're
Sure.
getting,
Sure.
you're going to get a good rate.
And then you can start
Yeah.
increasing it.
You'll start
as-
building that. And,
Okay.
and that, that'll change with every booking you get. So it's, as long as you keep getting them in there, you keep doing a great job, you keep hosting, you do the extras, put chocolates on their pillows, you know, you fold.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, and it's about having your cleaners, you know, fold the corners of all of the
The toilet paper.
and, you know, stamp it and
Kind of like a
making-
hotel room.
yes,
Yeah, when they
making a
do
monkey
service.
out of the towels. And, you know, my cleaner does that. My cleaner does make sure it looks like you're staying on a cruise ship. And we put bottled waters out there for them. We get it ready, and it's very inviting when they come in.
That's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah. So you have someone come in and service your
Mhm.
your Airbnbs.
Yes.
You don't. You just go there to collect money when you need
Correct.
to.
Or kick people out.
Kick people out.
Look at him, man. He's like Joe Rogan.
I know.
Get out
Shave
now.
his head and boom.
Yeah.
You
So I
want
get checking on Airbnb first and all that to kind of figure out where you would want to buy one.
Uh-huh.
Certain cities or municipalities, do they have rules too? Like only so many Airbnbs can be in a certain area. I know here in Missouri, I know there's some places that are like that. So you have to really be cautious about how many are within a certain, footage of another one and things like that.
Good question, Jeff. I haven't heard of anything that has come out as legislature yet. The city of Scottsdale was on their docket to discuss, but nothing to my knowledge has come out yet. And that was the only city within the Phoenix metropolitan area that I know of that was even discussing some type of stance.
The only thing I would
Got
say,
it. Okay.
I won in, what is it, Rio Verde right now?
Yeah. I don't know.
Didn't you guys hear on the news that Scottsdale's cutting off their water January 1st?
Really?
Wow.
The whole entire city's going to have no water.
Really?
I saw it on the news. Is it Rio Verde? It's up north of Pinnacle Peak, I think.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but yeah, the entire city's.
And the city of Scottsdale can dictate the
Yeah,
water
because
rates for
they're
Rio
not,
Verde?
well, they're not part
Maybe
of Scottsdale.
limited, but not.
No.
like
They're not part of
completely
Scottsdale, so they
cut it off.
completely cut it off.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so I would assume if you're gonna buy an Airbnb, you want to really do your research,
I'll
or
check to see.
you
Good to
know,
know.
call somebody like Kenny who's an expert at it, and get their help.
Apparently Greg too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the news anymore. I just happen to be on the TV for some reason.
Mhm.
I'm like, wow. So every single house is gonna have to drill a well
Yeah.
by January 1st.
That's
So
crazy.
sorry, you got like
If you got a
120
pool,
days.
you'll be fine.
You got 120 days to figure out your water, because we're talking, sinks, toilets, yard, everything. The
Yeah.
water's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
That seems pretty extreme, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got research that.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember reading something a while back, like Sedona.
Mhm.
They were really cracking down on HOs, on Airbnbs.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know the logistics on that, but I know that
Yeah.
they were fighting against having
Yeah.
too many of them.
And I haven't actually extended beyond the Phoenix
Metro.
greater area,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's good info.
Okay. Yeah. And I asked that because I know here I've been to some investor meetings in Southwest Missouri, and some of the guys and gals that invest in Airbnbs say that they have to really find out what municipalities allow a certain number of Airbnb or short-term rentals in that area. So they're trying to count the number of houses in between and stuff like that, just to make sure that they fit the guidelines, I guess.
And talking about the experiences, okay, doing the monkey towels and, folding the toilet paper, what other little things, I mean, like Keurig coffee or things like that, providing the coffee for them? And I mean, what other little
Yeah, there's definitely, we provide the coffee in all of our properties as well too. We do have Keurigs and a regular coffee maker as well.
Just
It's
in
more of an
case.
all-in-one unit that does both regular and Keurig. What else do we provide? We do put some bottled waters in there, but not much. It's just
Okay.
enough for them to be, when they arrive to have something. Just
Of course,
standard.
the pots and pans, the
Yeah.
plates, the forks, the extra blankets, pillows.
And we also have a form to be like, hey, is there something that we didn't provide that would make our stay more comfortable next
Yeah.
time? And whatever they put, we add it.
Do you put like board games in there? Like
do.
cards
Oh,
and stuff like
sure.
that?
We do. We have board games and cards there. I tell you, I think cards gets taken almost every time, so we just buy them in bulk and then they just throw in.
Yeah, they got
your
those
hands.
30 packs at Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, just by the way, it was Rio Verde, and yesterday the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors also voted no on a proposed special taxing district to get water for them. So not only did Scottsdale cut them off, Maricopa County said, "Mm-mm, we're not helping you out."
Wow.
So there's like 2,000 residents there that are kind
Yeah.
of
So don't buy in Rio Verde for
Yeah.
Airbnbs.
not for an Airbnb yet until they get their water
It's
situation.
gonna be real cheap, I'm sure.
No, honestly, when stuff like this
No running
happens,
water.
that's when investors need to start taking a peek, and
Yeah.
that's
Investors will do something about that.
right. They're gonna fire sale, and then that's the area. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for investment opportunities, that's the news bulletin for it.
Yeah, because they'll just bring in a big old well,
Mhm.
pitch in, right?
Yep, you get those properties for cheap.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. So
If somebody had a well digging business, they know where to go.
2,000 clients instantly.
Yeah.
Problem is,
Wow.
wells, I know we're getting up, but wells are really expensive. And I don't know if there's a big water table under Rio Verde or not. So
Okay.
it's kind of,
Yeah, the water has been a hot topic right now
so.
for Arizona.
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm excited actually when you start full force on your Airbnb management company, because obviously I deal with a lot of agents in my business, and I've had several say, well, I would do that, but I don't know how to manage it. I don't want to be folding towels and cleaning and going there every weekend to make sure it's not a bunch of college kids partying.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that even if it's like 10%, if I have a rental management company, take care
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
what I was gonna ask is.
Like,
is
take care of it.
Is
I
it gonna
don't-
be very similar, 10% is around the
So-
standard and regular.
So one of the areas I really can't talk about is the fee that they're going to charge just yet,
Okay.
because that's what we're really trying to iron out. And
Okay.
it'll actually go down in time, but it'll be under $500 around. I believe it's going to be somewhere between, we'll say $600 and $300 per Airbnb per month.
Per month, okay,
We don't take off the revenue; we just take the fee off the top. And
okay.
likely it's going to be closer to that bottom end of that figure, but I'm just throwing a wide number because we don't have everything nailed down just yet.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're making 12 grand a night,
Yeah.
then,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And plus they are
That's
charging a
$300.
cleaning fee. I mean, that's a
Yes.
fee that you can collect as well.
Yeah, and our
So-
cleaning fees on most of our properties are close to $200
Mhm.
per visit. And so when, so this management company, they'll be taking care of all the bookings. They'll be taking care of the scheduling of the cleaners, getting them in and out. They'll be taking care of on both platforms. I'm not going to recommend the other one,
Mhm.
but so both platforms, and they also use Price Labs to help you price your home as well too.
Wow.
They also will schedule any maintenance, which we've already had to do on one of our properties, and they've been really, really flawless. I really can't fault them on anything that they've done so far. They've really been so good. The only areas that we're having to work with was that one Booking.com
Mhm.
transition, and so we're kind of still working on a couple other things as well on pricing.
Well, I'm definitely going to give you a call because we're
Sure.
this close to, get one.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about getting it on the market. here.
Okay.
well, I want to buy one now. So
Yeah.
I didn't when you said 84% vacancy, but
I
now that
know.
it's 84% occupancy, I'm like, oh, I'm all in now.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm all in.
so Ken, why don't you go ahead and let anybody that's watching or listening know how they can get in touch with you if they want to?
Yeah, you're welcome to email me, just citizensagent.com. Or, well, that's
Website.
Website.
Yeah.
or email me at Ken at citizensagent.com. And you can also call me at 480-326-5661. Text me, call me, whatever.
Awesome.
All right.
What number again?
Hey, do you use the site called AirDNA?
Yeah, we do utilize AirDNA and MashVisor. Those are the two sites that really give some good analytics on the properties. What they're really good at is broad-based analytics. When you really drill down to the house, honestly, Airbnb gives you great data just on its own. Just type in that address and hunt as a buyer, and change the dates and write down each one of those numbers, and see what other people are collecting on a whole for those dates.
So when you say dates, are you talking about just like pick a day in a month,
Like July
Every
3rd
single
through
month?
July 7th.
Yeah.
or during the holidays even?
So remember, you're trying to purchase a property in that neighborhood.
Mhm.
So you want to say, okay, what will it look like in July? How much will I be able to get per month? So let me look for this July, from the 15th through the 30th.
Mhm.
And then that's how much I'll make. Okay.
Okay.
So you write down, this is the approximation of what I'll be able to charge
Yeah.
in July for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, because you put in your own home's values in there.
Okay.
And then you do it for August, then you do it for
Yeah,
September,
yeah.
you keep going. And you
That makes
get
sense.
the data from Airbnb itself. And I find those numbers are kind of truer to form than what MashVisor and AirDNA kind of give out.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
Wow.
Got it.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for sharing, man. This has been great.
For sure.
Amazing.
Uh-oh.
Anything else, Joey, that you feel like you want to ask?
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
So I'll have to do it.
Give me a buzz.
Off the line, off air here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for being in here. Big shout out to Security Title Agency and Fidelity National Home Warranty for sponsoring the show, and also to Greg for getting you in here.
Thank
I
you.
don't know about thank you for Greg being in here, but thanks
Yeah.
for getting Ken in here.
All right.
I didn't contribute much this one, but
That's why it was so good. I'm just kidding.
thanks. Yeah, usually I have a little bit to contribute. Hey, I told you about Rio Verde.
You
There
did.
go.
Yeah, you
You
did.
did.
You come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That could be a big investor thing.
That's
so.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to
Yeah.
pull out that crazy mask and ask some funky
We are gonna do
questions?
some math.
The mask.
Getting in the ring.
All right, you guys ready to get in the ring?
All right, let's get
do
it.
it. Here we
That's
go.
what we're doing.
Quick question. Quick
Just quick
question.
answer.
Yep.
One reason why you think many agents are not successful.
Effort.
Mm.
They just don't want to try. They don't want to. Cold calling is hard.
It
Door
is.
knocking is hard.
Yes.
If you make it hard, if you just go out and do it regardless, it's like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you don't get stronger.
Mhm.
If you don't put in the effort, you won't get better. Effort.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
For me,
Greg,
it's
you want to throw something in?
consistency.
Yep.
So I'll give an
Good.
agent a tool or a way to make money or lead source. And if it doesn't work in the first 3 to 4 weeks, I'm done. Doesn't work. I'm like, no. This is a 6-month, 1-year process,
Yeah.
So effort is a good one, but consistency, I think. I even struggle with that,
Sure. We all do.
consistency is tough.
Mhm.
All right. How about Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple,
Apple here too.
the only way to go. I know there's an Android sitting over there, but
Yeah. I'm going to
he's the oddball.
edit.
Yeah.
When you guys say Apple, it'll say Android.
How about would you rather listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos?
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see. I have one more. How about do you think the Arizona Cardinals will have a winning season or a losing season?
Winning season.
Super Bowl, baby. What are you kidding me? Once we get D-Hop back after his, 6-game suspension?
Mhm. Yeah.
6-game suspension.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that what he
It
got?
was six. It's
Yeah.
6 games.
6. Yeah. And the fact that we're playing KC, I think the first week, right?
So
we're
first
gonna,
game.
first game, we're going to start out bad, but I think,
No, we're not going to start off bad.
No, I think that'd be a pretty good matchup.
I don't know.
Those two.
I don't know. But you know what? I'm a native, so the Cardinals could be 0-15. And I'm like, Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
I'm like an old Chicago Cubs fan, right?
Yeah, but you couldn't be a Cardinals fan back then because there were no teams. Who was your team then?
Back then it was Green Bay,
Oh, Green Bay. Okay. That's
just
good.
because Brett Favre was, and then growing up it was the Steelers because Terry Bradshaw.
Okay, yeah, I like those teams.
So I picked, I just love the way Brett played, just all out.
Mhm.
I mean, I never knew at the time he was hopped up on painkillers, but I'm like, man, that guy's tough. I'm just kidding. I really like the way he played.
Sure. Seems good. Hall of Fame.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for being in here, Ken. We appreciate you. And agents, I'm sure somebody will reach out to you, especially if they have some. Well, I know Joey's going to already.
Yep.
Yeah,
Me in.
I'm open for all questions. And if you're interested in Airbnbs for your clients, or you just want to get on a team that, focuses in that area, give me a call.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, agents, until next time, we will see you later. Take care.
Good job.
All right. Great job.